What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Make sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. So, I don't know how you guys are feeling about the Kenobi show, but that was the one that broke me. That was the one that any deniability or cope I had, with, trust me, it was a miracle that I was holding on that long, right? But Kenobi was the one I was like, oh, they can't possibly mess this up, right? They're bringing back Hayden. They're bringing back Ewan. They're gonna really. This is gonna be the one that's gonna turn it all around. They're gonna have flashbacks, live action flashbacks to the Clone Wars. They're gonna bring their A game, and even though clearly Obi-Wan and Vader should never fucking meet, I'm sure they'll find a way to do it good that doesn't mess up the future story. They'll at least make it line up with A New Hope. And then they didn't, and they fucked up the story, and it was like one flashback of them fighting with no CGI on Hayden, so he looked very much a 30-plus-year-old man. Deborah Chow, I'm sorry, just did not have the experience or the passion. This should have been, I don't know who this should have been. I think we're all finding that Dave Filoni is not the miracle maker we thought he was. But for some reason, some people still want Kenobi Season 2, including Ewan McGregor. And this is an update on it. It's a little hard to believe, but 2024 marks the 25th anniversary of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. The movie was hated by many longtime fans when it arrived in theaters way back in 1999, but for a lot of kids at the time, it was their first experience of this galaxy far, far away on the big screen. And just for personal, I was 13 when I saw The Phantom Menace, and I already loved the original trilogy, and I loved The Phantom Menace and all the prequels. And at the time, the only motherfuckers really complaining are the adults that wanted Han, Luke, and Leia. And thankfully, the prequel trilogy has aged like fine wine, because at the end of the day, it was still a George Lucas story, and it still lined up with the originals. Something the sequel trilogy will never have. It will never have that glow up, because it fucks everything up, and it just makes everything worse retroactively. That might go some way in explaining why the consensus appears to have softened in the recent years, with the entire prequel trilogy now boasting a sizable fan base who largely celebrate George Lucas's work, not deride it. Talking of variety, Ewan McGregor admitted he was initially very reluctant to play the young Obi-Wan. It wasn't a done deal for me. I didn't think it was at all who I was. I believed at the point I was a Danny Boyle actor. The beach was more important. I mean, train spotting. And I meant it. It wasn't flippant. I did ask a lot of people for advice. I'm very happy that I am this character for a lot of people, but when these films came out, they were so disliked. That was hard, he admits. The first one was panned, and we still had to make another two. That was weird to be in a film that was hammered. Attack of the Clones didn't fare much better with critics, though Revenge of the Sith was largely well received. Like the sequel trilogy, the movies split. Please, let's not compare that fucking... No, not even close was the hate of prequels to the sequels. Although I know for Cope, they like to make it seem like it's the same. It's not. It's not. On the plus side, McGregor had a blast making Disney's Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series. I would love to do the second season, but there's no talk of it yet. The actor confirms before adding, there is a lot going on at Disney. Fans remain hopeful that a second season happens. It's not. They already... The biggest damage, aside from Reva being stabbed twice by Vader and surviving, and all that dumb plot point and wasted time that you could have spent on Obi-Wan or Anakin, was that you completely recontextualized Leia and the importance of her to Obi-Wan. And so now when Obi-Wan dies in A New Hope and Luke is all emotional and Leia is like, he's fine. She seems like a fucking psychopath because she had this big history with him that she now doesn't even react to his death. Why is she consoling Luke in A New Hope now? She should be the one in tears. Oh, I've known him since I was a little girl. And if you're saying, well, that's because obviously that was in the 70s. Right. Which is why they should not have written shit now that doesn't fucking sync up with that. Obi-Wan should have never left Tatooine at all. It should have been an on Tatooine planet, and everything he did should have been to stop Luke from being hurt. That is his focus. Fuck, have him be kidnapped by Tusken Raiders, anything. But that's the point. That's the point. They ignored all that shit, and all they thought about was, how can we insert our strong black female character Reva to hit our check boxes, written in the height of BLM in the Summer of Love. So instead of a series focused on Obi-Wan Kenobi, the biggest character besides him is fucking Reva. This series stars Ewan McGregor reprising... Yeah, why am I explaining? You know what it was, because you watched it or you didn't. And yeah, Deborah Chow, exactly. Yeah, remember all these women that Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy didn't think existed? Yeah. Do you want another Kenobi? Do you think there's a chance they could possibly do it right? I'm with Drinker on this one. It doesn't matter what they do at this point. Everyone they have in charge is incompetent and incapable of actually producing it. So you give them all the best ingredients in the world, and they're still going to give you a shitty meal because they don't know how to cook anymore. Let me know what you think of this. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you've done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And well,
bye.